So my name is Jonathan Yu. I'm the managing director of Initia Real Estate, and I'm here with John Lau today. He's the team leader of the JL Realty Group, and is with Initia Real Estate in both Alberta and British Columbia. Hey John, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for coming. So we're just gonna talk a little bit about your journey in the real estate career you've had, and we'll just jump right into it. How did you start in real estate?
I honestly, it's a funny story. I was just sitting at home actually. I do watch a lot of HGTVs with my sister, and
Yeah.
there's this show in particular. It's called Love It or List It,
Mm-hmm.
and they were even shooting in Vancouver. And I was just so into the show, and I said to myself, I want to be like these people. I want to be all suited up. I want to be out and about kind of thing. And from there, I actually, got into it more. I looked into the course. I, enrolled, studied, passed, and here I am.
Was it like what you were expecting, reality versus the TV shows?
Little bit, a little bit. Only the good stuff for sure. But yeah, honestly, it's been an amazing journey. But yeah,
Cool. Um, how long have you been in the industry now?
well, this month actually marks my 8th year in the industry. Time flies by so fast now that I realize.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what motivated you to stick with real estate for all this time?
Honestly, it's been a rewarding journey overall, right? Obviously, it wasn't an easy journey. Like, there's challenges along the way, but sticking to real estate, it's obviously one, it pays good, and secondly, I think more beyond that is like the experiences that I share with my clients has been the biggest reward
Mm-hmm.
in this journey so far.
Nice. So you've been in the industry for a little while now. Do you remember the very first listing you landed?
I do, yes. So it was actually a foreclosure in Leduc, Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just starting off as a new agent and getting a challenging listing right off the bat, it's definitely fun and memorable. So yeah.
Yeah, foreclosure listing as a first listing is definitely a challenging and a very unique one.
hmm
Um, Now, on a similar vein, do you remember, or what would you say is your most memorable or your most rewarding deal you've done?
I want to say every deal that I have is memorable. I'm not gonna lie. Like every journey with every client is unique in its own.
Yeah.
So I would say I've been truly blessed. Even the good and the bad. Actually, overall, like
Mm,
everything's been, yeah, everything's been good.
nice. And through this time too, so have there been any challenges in particular you faced, and how would you say you've overcome those challenges?
Definitely, like I mean, in any business really, or I guess in life situations, like there'll always be challenges. But as real estate agents, like you're always into changing markets. You're always dealing with clients, like and obviously not every client is a perfect fit for you, right? But
Yeah.
it's just trying to, I guess, try to see if how you can be a good fit for the client and see if you can make this work or not.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the years, like obviously when you do start out, you have to try hard and yeah, keep trying. But as you get further out into your career, right, then you get to, I guess, really choose who you want to work with, right? Because like
Yeah.
you can't really force yourself really in
Yeah.
all situations, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes a lot of sense. Um, And I guess switching gears a little bit, you started off as a solo agent, brand new. You became a very successful solo agent and then started your own team. Now you have a thriving team. Um, what would you say is some advice you would give to new realtors entering the industry?
So you gotta have a thick skin.
Yeah.
That's definitely needed for sure, right? Real estate is very unpredictable. It's I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, right? It's also unstable, but honestly, being consistent and just like having the right mindset is like definitely key to a successful journey. Um, Consistency also, and yeah, I guess that's just that's really it, right?
And a lot of hard work, you have to put time into it for sure.
Definitely, definitely.
um, and How would you say a team dynamic differs from a solo dynamic in terms of just how you operate on a day-to-day basis? Any differences you would highlight?
No, definitely big differences, right? So when I started off as solo, like, obviously there were challenges that you do face by yourself, right? And, you know, be going at it like sometimes alone is not the easiest thing. And, as you progress towards your career, like, you can only handle so much clients because, like, with us, like, quality is definitely something that we want to give to our clients, right? But the moment
Mm-hmm.
you're handling 6 or 7 clients at the same time, sometimes it's hard to give that same quality or energy to everyone, right? And
Yeah.
no man is an island, so definitely having a team with you as you grow in your career is definitely beneficial to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also good because, like, your real estate can be very lonely sometimes, but having a team, you're always like learning too, even as a leader, like, you learn from your other team members, and just watching them grow and impart that wisdom to them has also been actually rewarding for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
You have a good group of people behind you.
thank you.
Um, Thinking back on your career, what are some of the highs and lows that you would identify?
Ooh, deep question. I want to say, like, there's definitely a lot of highs and lows, but as I mentioned earlier, like, highs are definitely like closing a lot of deals in a given month, right?
Mm-hmm.
That usually happens for us during the springtime. Spring is, obviously the busiest time for us, right? The lows are definitely trying to, I guess, stay consistent and relevant during the slower months have been challenging.
Yeah.
But on a deeper note, I was also thinking that, sometimes real estate can be a very mentally draining career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's definitely one low that I did face at some point in my career. Um, Again, as I mentioned earlier too, right? Sometimes when you're just at it alone and you have no one to talk to, sometimes you can think, or sometimes you can even spiral down, right? So
Yeah.
I would say overcoming that would be, just having the right people around you. And fortunately, with Inisha, right, with you, actually,
Mm-hmm.
you did help me out through like, those days, right, throughout the storms, and that's something I'll never forget too.
Mm. Yeah. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
um, yeah, you've had a good career so far. Um, and with Initial Real Estate, so we try to be very dynamic in how we operate. We adapt to the market, the times. Um, you've probably seen that. How would you say the real estate market and industry today is different from when you first started in real estate?
Wow, so much has definitely changed because when I joined back in 2015, like, the market was definitely different. There weren't, I would say, like, there weren't a lot of young agents at that time. And, the power of social media and all these technology tools that we have right now were definitely non existent at that
Mm-hmm.
time, right? So,
Yeah.
I guess I could say that, I've seen the industry change, from that sense into, becoming a little bit more modernized. And,
Yeah.
how fortunate we are that we were able to tap into that and just, like, really grow and innovate, throughout the years, because the world
Mm-hmm.
is always changing, right? And you gotta innovate
Yeah.
otherwise, right?
No longer a world of fax machines and pagers.
Definitely. Right.
Yeah. Um, and I guess a question that we get asked a lot, I'm going to ask you. What do you think the market is going to do next year?
Oh. It's gonna be interesting for sure, right? I mean, obviously we've had our highs, and we're definitely right now, and we're getting there, the balance side of things. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not really seeing a grim market for sure, but I would say that the market is gonna stay resilient. But it's not gonna be. I would say it's gonna. I'd say it'll still be stable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can really give you for now. It's very unpredictable these days.
Yeah, yeah, it's been an interesting market to say the least since the end of COVID.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, John, tell us what kind of clients you usually work with in BC.
In BC, I find myself working a lot with first-time homebuyers and investors out here.
Okay. And you're in a unique position because you're working in both Alberta, or your team's working in both Alberta and in BC.
Hmm.
Um, what are some of the differences you see in between those two markets?
I guess the biggest thing really is affordability, right?
Yeah.
As of recent months here in Vancouver, the market has definitely changed. I would say that, it's definitely slowed down compared to, the COVID years wherein
Yeah.
people were just outbidding each other and, definitely the interest rates. And just comparing that to Alberta, despite the high interest rates, really, I just do see a lot of the investors that I'm working out here, like I'm pushing them out more in Alberta just because of really affordability.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, we've gone to a point right now here in Vancouver, and I'm hoping to see, a little bit of correction, hopefully the next little bit here.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So, on that note, where do you see in your projections, where do you see interest rates and the general market going in the next 24, 48 months?
Again, don't quote me on this one. We're not magicians or anything, but
For
I
sure.
would say that, we're definitely at a stable point right now. I'm hoping that the interest rates would kind of stabilize from here on, maybe slowly work their way down.
Yeah.
And with that, that's definitely going to help the market, like, really, I guess, beef back the market again in regards to activity.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, just in time for spring next year.
For sure. Yeah. And an interesting bit of Inisha has been the launch of the Mexico offices.
Hmm.
How has that tied into any of your business or business outlook?
It's definitely added a little bit more, I guess, content in regards to our business, right? Because like with our team especially, we get to do real estate here in BC, Alberta, and now Mexico, right? And as mentioned, like we do work with a lot of investors, and we're able now to give them more options, really, to diversify portfolio.
Cool. And yeah, it's interesting to see what's happening down there, and we're excited to do property tours down there in the next few months, bringing our agents here down there. So hopefully you
Hmm.
can join in on one
Oh,
of
of
those.
course. I know we love our margaritas.
You guys, your team has been a mainstay, the life of the party at Initiate
Oh, is that
last
so?
year
Is that so?
and this year. So, what were your biggest takeaways from this year's Initiate conference?
Honestly, I think one of it was like, obviously they were all great. The keynote speakers that we had, the guys from CIBC to Julie Kim, and,
Mm,
the guys down
she
in
was
Mexico.
amazing.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest for me is like, the investment opportunities in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
What's nice about it too is like, we were able to create something that makes it easier for Canadian investors, like, through the financing side of things and through the sales team that we have down there in Mexico. And just, since they are investing further out, right? Like, I mean, it's amazing to know that, our team is like fully equipped with, all the right people and teams in regards to investments.
For sure. And hopefully we'll see you next year at Initiate.
Mhm.
Where do you want next year's Initiate to be?
Not gonna lie, like I really want to stick to the Mexico side of
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
I just feel like we're all a little bit more loose
yeah.
when we're out there. Don't get me wrong, like the Toronto one was great, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mexico still has my heart.
Good to hear. Well, thanks, John, for answering some questions,
Yeah.
and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.